but a lot of people don't understand the money. Everybody just want to get some money, but they don't understand the money. They don't know what type of
Everybody.
money to use for the right deal. They think all money is good money. All money ain't good money.
All money ain't good money.
You know what I'm
All
saying?
money definitely ain't good money.
All banks ain't good banks for your situation.
All banks ain't good banks. You know, it's
You know
funny,
what I'm saying?
man. It's like when you first starting in any business, right?
Everything sounds good.
Everything sounds good, but here's the thing, though. Oh, what I've realized is that it's harder for you to conceptualize the idea that you can get money, right?
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, it's hard to get money once you get
It's harder than people
experience.
think.
But once you get experience, you get deals.
Easy to get money.
It's easy to get money. But
Hey,
what we have to
I got a
realize,
question.
yeah,
Do you think our people, like I was talking to one of my students slash partners the other day, do
hmm
you think a lot of people in our community utilize resources
no,
like
Be-
private money?
because I don't even. You know what's crazy? I have not used all of my resources, me personally, like because tip. Okay, here's the thing. That was my point. The fact
I think
that
that's where we struggle.
yeah, we struggle with it because we don't even know to ask in some cases because we don't even think it's there. But what we realize when you start putting out what you do into the world and you start
Resources come to you.
broadcasting, and you start showing up as an expert in your space, money will begin to be attracted to you, but you may or may not even know that that money is there or available for you.
Yeah.
But my point on this here, that's real critical, is that just see, when you get good at finding resources, now you got to learn how to find the right resources for the right deals in the right situations. That's a new skill.
Mm, a whole new skill. But I like talking about resources. I don't think a lot of people realize the resources they have, or they don't know how to leverage the resources they have once they know they have them.
Mm,
You know what I'm saying? Especially, I'm talking about right now. I'm talking about our community.
facts.
You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people want to go further faster, but they don't know how to put the pieces in position to move further faster. Everybody think when it comes to business and buying properties and just buying anything in business, you got to have a 700 credit score. You got to have $100,000 a bank. Your LLC got to have business credit for you to make a move. And so many times I hear people say, "My LLC is only a year old. I don't have no credit in my LLC. How could I get some money? Is it possible?" Bro, it's crazy how many people think that way. I think it's a norm though. Like, if I buy this property, how could I buy it? My business don't have no credit. Like, people don't know that typically you personally guarantee properties and they put them in your LLC.
Facts.
Like, people don't know if your credit is horrible, you can partner with somebody with good credit, leverage an operating agreement. On paper, you only owe 15%.
Facts.
Like, people, you know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of things we got to learn to get ahead. And a
Man.
lot of things we have to use to get ahead. Like, just because you don't have everything in your possession don't mean you can be successful. It doesn't mean you can't go on to the next level. You just got to figure out how to use people around you, how to leverage your people, how to partner to get where you want to go, to reach a goal. At the end of the day, you got to figure out what the goal is. How can I get there the fastest way? But
Period.
we want goals. We got wishes. We'd be like, I really want 100 units in 5 years, but I ain't got no money. I ain't got no credit. I don't think I can make it happen. Let me go ahead and fill out this application to Costco.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm big on whatever your goal is, you can really make it happen. You just got to put yourself around the right people, and they're going to give you directions how to make it happen. Every
Facts.
time. You know, your friends ain't they can't help you. 9
Rap
times out of 10, your
City.
parents can't help you. But if you put yourself in different rooms, they can help you. If you can go to these free meetups, they can help. You go to these free events, they can help. Even the cheap events, $100 events. But we don't want to spend the money. We don't want to ask the right questions. And we don't want to separate ourselves from the people who we've been rocking with for a long time. And that's why we all stay in the spots where we're in.
It's a fact.
You know?
That's a fact.
Because somebody's doing what you want to do. And that person could be down the street.
Facts.
Literally, they probably are down the street. But you know what I'm saying? People be having that pride, that ego. And they never reach the success they want to reach, bro.
That's a fact. That's a fact. Man, let's roll this intro, man, so we can get this party started, man. Listen.
Yeah, man, we talking money today.
This is gonna be one of those pen and pad type of events. I'm just saying. You listen, we're gonna be talking plays today.
Yeah, we're gonna give it all, man. But y'all gotta just listen, pay attention. It's gonna be a replay event.
Listen. I was jamming, man. I was getting my vibe.
I was feeling the vibe. Yeah. So today we're talking about money, man. We're talking about leveraging the bank, leveraging shit, relationships, putting yourself in position to actually be successful in any type of business. So we're talking about what money to use for certain things, because not all money is good money. We're talking about what banks you want to go to, because not all banks good banks. Gotta keep it real. Not every lender wants to lend to the type of business that you have. We're talking about how to get yourself in these rooms. If you don't have no credit, how to get some credit. That's what we're talking about today. So y'all got any questions, man, put in the chat if y'all want to join, hit the link. And man, make sure y'all take the notes, man, because again, this will be a replay episode. So Byron, man, let's get started with you. So I know when you first got into real estate, you wanted to own property. And why don't you think you had a lot of information when it came to leveraging banks? Because you basically just started leveraging banks recently, right?
Last
6 to 8 months, 12 months.
I was buying a lot of my stuff cash too, though. And I was using a lot of creative finance as well. So I did use banks for, like lending for hard money, different things of that nature, private money for lending. But for the most part, I used either my own cash or creative strategies. And then my last resort would always be some type of hard money or any private money or anything like that. And
you think cash was the best option to use?
No, I think the seller's cash is the best option to use. Yeah, getting the property.
What made you choose to use cash in the beginning? Because a lot of people feel that way too. Like if they don't have the cash, they ain't gonna do it.
I think cash is the worst. I think cash is the worst option. I think cash is the worst option unless you don't have any plans to do anything with that cash immediately. So the only time I think, from my perspective, right, because I'm looking at this right now as I'm navigating new spaces, man, look, I want to hold on to every piece of cash that I come across, because in this development space, right? So I just picked up last week, I picked up 2 lots, right, that we're working on. Matter of fact, I'm doing the operating agreement for those. I did that last night. I'm going to be sending that out today for review. Because we're picking up 2 lots. They're going to be about an acre a piece. Both lots are about an acre a piece. We'll be able to fit about 20 homes on each lot. That'd be about 40 homes collectively. And I'm getting those deals, for free. Yeah, so I'm going free first. And when I say free, that's because I'm partnering with the seller, right? I'm partnering with the seller to give us the land, right, up front. We do the development, right? And then we split profits at the end. And so I think going to getting into a deal for free is going to be the best deal. And the other piece that I'm working on doing now is, how do I get my soft costs covered? So with my soft costs, I'm going to be looking for investors to come in to fuel the soft cost side of things. And so at that point, I got the soft costs going to be covered, and I'm going to be able to float the project myself, right, with the construction company. Plus we get paid to build the actual, what you call it. And then at the end, we exit with a profit. We pay the landowner back, and we also pay the person who put up the money for the soft costs back. It's a beautiful situation. So if I can go into a situation with little to no money, that's gonna always be my go-to.
So typically, a lot of these sellers, they're gonna say yes for the most part if you know how to communicate, and they getting their price, sometimes even more.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I don't mind paying them right at appraisal, because here's the trick, right? Here's the trick with this, bro. A lot of people don't realize.
Back in money.
Yeah, I would give them right at the appraisal amount, because you got to understand, bro, people discount the cost of interest, right?
The interest expensive.
Right. So when the problem with development, bro, is what if you can't build what you want to build, and
the city.
The city is saying that they think that you want to build this, but the city like, nah, you can't build this. We want you to build something more like this, or you need to adjust this, or you need to adjust that. So what I can't dump that money in the dirt and wait. Now, if you have the money to dump in the dirt and wait, that's perfect. But somebody like me, I have to keep my money moving. So I can't dump my money in the dirt. So I got to partner with somebody, or partner with the seller to get that land for free up front. And I don't need to be paying no bills on that land.
That's a fact. That's a fact. So we talking about real game right now. Game y'all can use right now. So we talking about interest. So let's just say, like what Byron said, you buy a piece of land, you got all these beautiful thoughts in your head, you're going to build 8 duplexes. You know what I'm saying? You ain't even talk to the city yet. You just you just bought this shit, this property. You ain't do your due diligence. So now you got to sit on this property. You paying all this interest. And you want to build these 8 duplexes, and the city come back and tell you, you got to do all kind of stuff before you even can build these duplexes. We need to run plumbing, because you ain't got no plumbing. You may have to break some dirt in. It may be $10,000 you ain't even think about that you got to put in.
Cut some trees. Them trees.
You got to cut some trees. You may have to bring electricity. You may have to bring power because you didn't do your due diligence. And they say, look, you can't build them 8 duplexes. You only can build 4 single families. So all this time in your head, you was running your numbers off of 8 duplexes because you didn't do your due diligence, and you overpaid for this property, and now you got to pay the interest on all this, and now you got to sell this property because you can't do the things that you thought you was gonna do because you didn't do the proper due diligence, and you didn't buy it right.
Somebody asked what that pitch. Shout out to Dunn in the building, man. We got Dunn.
Good morning.
He definitely finna educate today. You know, when I see Dunn, I know that the people are gonna be blessed. That's what I know immediately. See,
you said the magic. You said the magic word. You said interest, and it just sucked me right into the program, man.
Absolutely.
You popped up like Houdini.
Absolutely. And
that's the magic word.
Keisha asks what that pitch looked like. You know, I go into that pitch specifically, and I tell them, hey, look, Keisha, you wanting this much for this land. I'm gonna keep it real with you, Keisha. If I gave you cash for this land, I can tell you right now, you probably gonna try to run me up out of here. And I like you, Keisha, and I think we can be friends if you listen to all of the different options that I feel I have to offer you. And I don't want you to kick me up out of here if I offer you a cash offer. So, Keisha, what I was thinking we could do that'll make you more money, right? And you could probably learn some things in the process is, what do you hate about the idea of us partnering on this particular piece of land, since you ain't finna be doing nothing with it anyway, right? And in that partnership, while I do my due diligence, I can just be a 1% owner, right? And you be a 99% owner until I start making bigger investments in this property, right? And when I start making bigger investments in this property, and I do actually build it, I become up to an 85% owner, depending on how much the value of the land is and how much money I'm putting into the construction, right? And if I'm putting up 80% in construction and the land is worth 20% of that, then we 20-80 partners. If it's 85, then we 15% partners. If it's 25 and I put up 75, then we 25 partners. Whatever the numbers say on that appraisal, that's considered your cash investment into this deal. And what happens is, a lot of times when the seller hear that, a light bulb go off. And start thinking, man, you know what? That makes a whole lot of sense. So not only am I able to partner with this dude, get the true value of my land, I also get to watch him build it, right? I get to be a part of something that I've always dreamed of seeing happen with my property. Maybe it was my grandpa's property. And they're excited to partner with you because they like, shit, I want to see something happen. And the only thing I'm doing with it right now, Keisha, is paying taxes.
And cutting the grass.
And now I'm going to let you cut the grass. And I'm going to let you deal with them taxes because you the owner now. And I will gladly oblige, because at the end of the day, by the time I'm getting ready to pay taxes, I'm going to be going to the bank, right? And I'm going to be getting a loan, and the loan going to pay for them taxes because I'm going into the property free and clear. And I'm going to go and get that loan, and we're going to start building on this property.
So let's talk about that part.
Let's talk about it.
You partner with the seller. Now you got this land free and clear. So we got to talk about what type of loan would you get? Because now you can use that lot as leverage. So you're going to get a hard money loan. You get private money. You go to a local bank. You go to a loan shark. This is important because we got to think about the longevity of the project. We got to think about the profit. We got to think about the interest. So what's the best money to use in a situation like this? Because this project, on average, probably 10 to 12 months to complete a new construction project. I'm talking about from the beginning to the end.
Yeah.
Acquiring the land, developing the land, permitting, and then the actual build process. Probably 10 to 12 months, depending on what city you're in.
Yeah.
So how do you choose which way to go to get the money? And how do you know the interest rates, the points? Because all that is, you got to take all that into consideration.
Yeah.
A lot of money is expensive, more expensive than you think.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and start my pre-development process, right? Because most banks, right, and private money, they really want to work with shovel-ready properties. They want to work with shovel-ready properties. What is a shovel-ready property? A shovel-ready property is a property that when I lend you money, you're going to be building from that particular point on. They don't want to lend you money on an idea of building. Nobody wants to do that. And if you do that, the cost of the money and the procedures to get that money are going to be 10 times more difficult. Not saying that it's impractical or impossible, but it's going to be a lot more difficult. Also, you never know what type of delays you're going to run into. And so you want to go ahead and do all of your due diligence on your own money. Whether you get a credit card, whatever you got to do that, you want to do that. You're looking at anywhere between $5,000 to maybe even $10,000 in the pre-development phase, depending on how many properties you building, right? And then from there, you want to start looking at lenders and going through the permitting process, complete the permit process, be shovel ready, then go look for lenders. And trust me, lenders are going to be way easier on a shovel ready new construction project than you could ever believe. Matter of fact, I believe, and y'all can hold me to this, you got a free and clear property. Let's think about this. You the bank. I don't want you to think about you lending the money. Just think about if you the bank, all right, this person has a free and clear property. They have all of their permits ready to go. They are shovel ready. Are you not willing to give that person some money on that property? They got a free and clear property, right? So your whole money search gets a whole lot easier. Not saying that it's so easy to where it is, they just jumping out of trees. Now they jump out of trees for me because I have experience, but for you on a new project, trust me, you could easily get money because you shovel ready and you got collateral that you bring into the deal.
Banks
It's
like
a
collateral.
no-brainer.
Lenders love collateral.
Love collateral. And a lot of times, depending on the amount of collateral that you got, you ain't even got to put no money down, and some of them will give you money. Some of them will give you money at the closing table, and you'll get your money that you put up for your due diligence back at closing. Let's talk about it. So now you out of pocket zero, and then all you got to do is float your first draw. And if you smart, you're going to inflate that first draw just a little bit so you can float the rest of your project 100%, 0% out of pocket.
And you could raise private money for that.
You could raise private money for that.
You could get private money for 30 days. Let me borrow 10,000. You say your pre-development may be 15. It really may cost 6 or 7. So now you got extra money to float the rest of your project, and you can pay that lender back.
And now you done built the whole house
with no money out your pocket.
With no money, and depending on the area, depending on the area where you build that house and the areas where I'm trying to build, I don't want to see no less than 100,000 in equity on the exit.
Yeah.
So if I sell it, I'm gonna make $100,000. If I keep it, I'm gonna have at least $120,000 in equity minimum. Yeah, I want a six-figure
equity. The equity, you can do 2 different things. So this is where Don come into play. The equity, so you can either get a line of credit on the equity, or you could do a refinance on the equity. Which one makes more sense for what you're trying to do? So you got to think about it. Line of credit, you still got your same loan that you originally had. So whatever the interest rate was, if it was 5-6%, that stays in place. The rest of the equity up to 80%, you can get a line of credit. Guess what? You don't pay on a line of credit if you're not using it. And if you do use the line of credit, you're only paying the interest. Now, the flip side, what most of our people do, I'm going to go ahead and do a refinance. And now I'm paying interest on 80% because we go do the max. We will do the max. Yes, indeed. Some banks do 85%. So now we got to pay a brand new loan, 80% and 9% interest, and the loan restarts. So now your loan looking like your payment may be $1,000 a month, $900 going to interest, $100 going to principal. We just got bamboozled. We thought we was winning.
And that's not the worst part.
What's the worst part, Don?
They're not investing the money.
Ooh.
They're spending it.
Ooh.
So, we thought we was doing the right moves. We really made bad positions. We made bad moves. We made bad decisions. Because now you repaying, starting all over. You paying front-loaded interest. Now you paying on money that you got that you're not even using. Instead of getting a line of credit, keeping your original loan, the line of credit, you only pay on it when you use it. So if it just sit there You're just paying the original loan that you always had. So that's why you got to understand the money and understand the business that you're doing, which most people don't. How many times do you see, Don, like a lot of people ask you, should I do a refinance for the 85%? Most times people don't even ask about a HELOC or a line of credit, huh?
Every day.
So in your business that you're in, do a lot of people know about the HELOC and line of credit option or not really?
No, listen, this guy called me. This happened just recently. Okay. All right. Within the last month or so. All right. Guy called and said, I want to do some things around the house. I'm going to refinance this. I want to get I'm just going to take some cash out, but I didn't know how much cash he was taking out. I thought he was maybe talking about $30,000 or $40,000 or something like that. Okay. But the more I talked, the more information came out. And the only reason why he was talking to me is because his wife said, you told me about this guy, and you want to do this. I bring this guy in on this and let's see if what he says. Okay. So he didn't want to bring me in. So, but she said, I'm not going to do this. I'm not doing this because it doesn't make sense. He has a loan right now. His loan is at 4%. Let's say it's 4%. He wants to borrow money at 8%.
He wants to do refinance at 8%.
Yes, he wants to refinance at 8% and take some cash out. Okay, take some cash out, and then fix the roof and do something. He's gonna do some improvements on the house and pay off some bills. That's what he wants to do. Okay, so he wants to do that, and then after I get into it, and then usually I don't tell people don't do that. What I tell them is, let's run the numbers. Let's see which way is going to cost you the least amount of money. But when he told me, he was literally taking as much equity out as he possibly could.
80%, baby.
For 30 years at 8%. And his wife would say, and then I said, I wouldn't touch that with a 10-foot pole. I didn't even have to run the numbers. I said, I wouldn't touch that with a 10-foot pole. I said, why aren't you? So let's figure out how to borrow the money cheaper and do the things that you need to do. See, that's what leverage is all about, Byron. You were talking about leveraging. And when you explain something, you actually were explaining what behavioral economists call the endowment effect. The endowment effect. So when I have this property that I'm just mowing and paying taxes on, it becomes more valuable to me when you try to buy it from me.
Facts.
It's true.
That's called the endowment effect. Okay. What you did was make the property more valuable to the person to do your deal. And now it becomes, man, if I don't do this deal, I'm losing out.
Facts.
You see, the fear of loss is greater than the desire for gain.
Facts.
One more time. The fear of loss is greater than the desire for gain. So what you did is switch that around. So that's what you're dealing with the endowment effect. And so this professor said, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to give everybody, I got these coffee cups up here. And this is, well, how much would you pay for this coffee cup? And he said, well, I'll pay $3 for it. I said, okay, now the professor says, now the coffee cup is yours. Coffee cup is yours. Now, how much would you sell it for? $7. And that's what you're dealing with. We are irrational beings when it comes to money, and banks know that. And we don't know that banks have psychologists on their staff to write, to write their copy, to put help put their deals together, because they take advantage of the fact that we're irrational when it comes to money. you know. So, listen, there are a bunch of apartments going up in Huntsville right now. I mean, I see sticks everywhere, okay, everywhere. And I'm telling you, Byron, I have seen enough. I've seen enough of these apartments going up that I can go in now because I've seen it. I can go in and I can start building too. In fact, I don't even have to hire an architect or construction manager, or I don't need any of that because I've seen enough
Facts.
to start building. And what I'm trying to tell you all is, because you've seen money, because you've seen loans, because people have done loans before, what we don't know about loans will fill an ocean. There is so much going on since, the first self-amortizing loan was in 1936. It was a 20-year loan in the US. Okay, paying interest like we pay now. How much education has been given on the self-amortizing loan? Zero. The banks understand how they work, but we do not. We get a lot of information that actually makes the banks more money. Everything we do, even if you're a seasoned investor, okay, and you're making a lot of money, you're still leaving millions on the table. If you want to understand money the way we need to understand it, you got to throw away everything you've ever learned about how to manage the money. Now, how to get the money, we have a ton of information on that. I mean, a ton. But how to actually use the money, we're using dated information where we can make some money. But if we knew how much money we really could make, then the lights come on and says, listen, because I didn't know this, now I find out that I'm paying 75% more interest than I need to pay. And when you do that, guess what? You can't also invest that money if you're paying that money. Now it becomes a true opportunity cost calculation. What could I have done with that money, investing it in my projects, instead of looking at it as, oh, the interest that I'm paying here is the cost of doing business because I'm cash flowing so well up front. I cash flow so well up front, I don't even care how much interest I'm actually paying on the back end. I don't even look at it. Listen, Byron, it is not even part of our calculations when we're trying to do our profit and loss.
That's a fact. That's a super fact. I wanna because I definitely want to dive deeper into that from an investment standpoint, because I've been looking at that deeper and deeper, on a lot of the deals that I'm doing now, because I'm learning how to put deals together in the development space without, leveraging money in a very, very smart way. And I want to kind of get some understanding. So I know, you've used bank money, you've leveraged private money, right?
All the money.
Huh?
I leverage all the money.
All of the different types of
Hard
money.
money, private money, bank money, partner money, seller money.
So real quick. So what does that look like? Because here's the thing. I know that somebody that's listening to this live right now, they got a deal, they got an idea, right? And I ain't finna just co-sign your idea. Some of y'all ideas be trash. That's why the money be looking at y'all funny too. Yeah, your idea is trash. Go back to the drawing board and make more numbers, put more numbers in that profit column, and then the money gonna
real
look
numbers.
Different. Yeah, the money
real
gonna
numbers.
be chasing you. Yeah, real numbers. You need to put real numbers, documented factual numbers with a real profit margin and real comps to support that, right? Some of y'all, either y'all gonna do it two ways. Either y'all gonna overestimate what them comps is supposed to be and your numbers are gonna be off, or you're not gonna do it accurately and get the exact comps. And either way it go, that's not a good look. But anyway, go back to the deal. I mean, to the idea board And then what I'm starting to realize now, is that money is infinite when you have good deals. You know how to leverage deals properly. I promise you, money is infinite. It's infinite. Your success is infinite. It's literally as infinite as your creativity and the amount of work you're willing to do. Now you got to be real with that. Some of you not willing to do the work, and be real with yourself. Be real. Like, you know what? I'm not finna look. I'm gonna get halfway into that, and I'm gonna get tired. And I'm not gonna want to do that no more. Right? Be real with yourself, because when you're dealing with money, right? It's consequences with dealing with money, right? And so you want to make sure you get it. But I want to pivot. O'Neal, what type of money are you mostly excited about when you're looking to get into a deal, and why?
Go back to one more time.
What type of money are you most excited about using when you're looking at a deal, and why?
Man, I'm most excited about using private money because we can agree to our own terms. Like all this points they be talking about, you ain't gotta bring that up. You know what I'm saying? Down payment, you ain't gotta bring that up. Like people with private money, they just want to make more money on the money that they have. That's it. So that's the money I'm most excited about. Like I'm closing on a flip tomorrow. Purchase price $150, rehab $45,000. How much money I'm bringing to the table? Not a dollar. How much money I'm projecting to make? Probably about $60,000. What is it? A hotel deal. We're gonna buy it, put some paint in the roof, floors, put it back on the market. The days on market in that neighborhood is less than 30 days. It's a win. The private money I got is analyzed. Well, Don could probably break it down. It's analyzed over 12 months to 17%. So the faster I close, the cheaper I pay. And guess what? With the $200,000 loan, no payments. No payments at all. So I'm borrowing money, about to make money on the money, and I have no payments. And I'm getting the rehab money up front at closing. So it sounds like a beautiful transaction. I'm bringing no money to the table. I'm getting my construction money up front, and I have no payments, and it's annualized over 12 months. So the faster I finish, the cheaper I pay on the money.
Wow.
So what does that look like?
That 17% scares people. 17%? Are you kidding me? 17%? You can't get money cheaper than that. So listen, that's the interest rate. That got nothing
over
to do with
12
the
months.
interest cost. That got nothing to do with the interest cost. What is the interest cost going to be? And everybody's going to say, I don't know. But if you do the numbers and say, listen, I can get this money at 17% over this many days, this many months, this is what the actual cost is going to be, and this is how much money I'm going to make. Now I know how much the money is going to cost me in dollars and cents, not looking at an interest rate that's lying to you. Interest rates lie to you, ladies and gentlemen. Interest rates lie to you. What the truth is how much you actually end up paying to manage the money. And that's not what we've been taught. We haven't been taught to figure out what is it going to cost me to manage this money? Because if we don't do that, we make mistakes all the time. Okay? And I've got examples. Are y'all ready? I got tons of examples of people who have made money using like an 18% loan. Lord have mercy.
Listen, I'm about to say, maybe you could break down this deal I'm talking about right now so people can see the realization of what's going on.
Let's do that. Let's do that. So let me bring something up here so we can talk about this. Okay, there we are. And
I think it's a beautiful situation. What's your thoughts about that, Byron? What Don bringing that up?
Let's get it popping. We're talking about real numbers, real practical
real deals.
Real deals.
Okay. So
Real
how much we talking about?
The total loan is 200,000.
200,000. Okay. All right. Interest rate is 7. Do you know what the amortization is going to be? Because there's no
It's
payments
a
on it right
12-month
now,
loan.
right?
Mm-hmm. 12-month loan.
It can be a 12-month loan, but you have to know what the amortization is. So
Damn, you right.
you can keep it for 12 months, but they have to have something to use as a baseline. So if we use 360 months as a baseline on a 17% loan, okay, then you're looking
Let's do
at
240.
240. There you go.
Yeah.
240
A little bit
months.
more realistic.
Okay. 240 months. Okay. So now that would be the total payment, but you're just worried about the interest on that. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
The interest only payment is $2,833. Okay. That's the interest only payment. Now, is this an amortized loan, or they're going to say, yeah, just pay me 10% or 17% flat? Okay.
So the cheaper you use it, the cheaper you pay. So I'm looking at per month interest, which should be 1.4, right?
Right in here. Yeah.
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 So that's
So
what
if you take that,
I'm really looking at that.
so if you take that 17%, okay, and then let me bring this up. Okay. 17% means 1.4. So 18% is 1.5% a month. Okay. So I'm going to pay. So if we do 17%, we divide that by 12. Okay, 17% divided by 12. Okay. That's 1.41. Okay. So this is how much you're paying per month. So if I take that and multiply it by 200,000, and you say it's no payments, so in essence, it's an interest only loan, correct?
Right.
Okay. So we got times 200,000 equals, that's how much it is per month.
The faster I finish, the
Yeah.
money I make.
So if you're done in 6 months, you got 6 months of this. Okay.
Cool with that.
And so
I'm trying
what
to
we're
be in and
looking
out.
at, exactly. So you know how much it's going to cost you. So now when it comes to doing your deal, you're not looking at 17%. You're looking at, this is how much it costs me per month. And not only that, if it was a long-term loan, and people don't know this, if it's a long-term loan, I love interest-only loans. Absolutely, I love them. Do you know
Ooh.
why?
Let's talk
Why?
about that.
I love an interest-only loan because you pay interest on what?
The principal.
The principal. Well, if it's long-term and you put money on principal, okay, I put $2,000. I put $2,000 on this, on the principal. Now it's 198,000. So if I owe 198,000 and I'm paying an interest only loan, they can charge me interest on what?
198. Tell me this:
So
how do they allow you to pay on principal on interest only loans?
definitely. We just assume we can't.
Whoa, I'm
We
learning
just
something
assume.
now. I never knew that.
Yeah, man.
We just assume we can't. So here's what I'm saying. Okay,
And they don't tell you can.
Let me put it to you this way. I take out an interest only loan. Okay, 200,000. Something happens on another deal. I get a windfall. I'm going to go to the bank. I said, next week I'm paying this loan off, and the bank is going to say, "Now we don't want your check." Okay. No, they're not going to turn you down. They're going to take that money. So you can pay off the loan anytime you want. So with an interest-only loan, you are in complete control of your monthly payment.
So as long as you're making that interest payment,
You
can
make
put
the
the rest
interest
of that
payment.
money on that principal.
Yes, right. So
And
if you want to put $5,000 on this, now your payment has just dropped because now you don't owe as much.
Mm.
So you would recommend if somebody's getting a year loan, they might as well do interest on it. Because it is cheaper because you're not paying interest and principal, you're only paying interest.
Because to control this loan, you have to make a full payment before you can attack the loan. Okay? So if I have a $200,000 loan, okay, let's go back. 200,000 and here's what my regular payment would be. Okay? It'd be $29.3360. I have to pay $29.3360 before I can put an extra dime on principal to start saving money. All right. If I have an interest only loan, I don't have to pay $2,900. I can pay $2,800 here, the interest only part, and then I could put money on principal. You have to make the contracted payment first, and then you can attack the loan. So
Shane put in what if they have a prepayment penalty too?
Oh Lord, let's talk about it. Okay, so here's the other thing: get the longest term possible. I'm always going to get a 360-month loan or more. Okay, I'm always going to get a 300. Okay, 30-year loan. Now, I want to show you something that most people don't know when it comes to this. The very first payment is still this. It's $28.33.33. It's the same amount. Okay. If it's a 15-year loan, okay, that'd be 180. That would be 180, right? Watch this. What's the first interest payment?
28.
Same thing. Did y'all know that?
I know it now. I didn't know it.
So I will never get anything less than the 30-year loan because the interest payment is going to be the same.
It's the same.
Exactly
now you gotta
the
pay
same.
More money because you got to pay on the principal too.
There you go. You got to pay on the principal now. But if I got an interest only loan, I don't have to pay anything on principal. I choose when I want to pay on principal. My only obligation is this. And then I could put money on principal if I want to bring my payment down. You are complete control of your payment with an interest only loan. Now let's talk about prepayment penalties. Okay, let's change the word penalty to cost. All right, so let's go back to 360. Okay.
Well, you do that, man. If y'all learning something, man, hit the like button.
Yeah,
I'm learning something this morning, man. I like learning stuff.
So we've got this going on. We got 17%. We got this payment, and we got a prepayment penalty. All right. Somebody says, I'm going to charge you X amount of dollars to, now you have to find out what the penalty is. So if I put
5%.
5%?
Yeah, because a lot of hard money lenders use 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1 of the payment of the, is that going to be
the loan
on
amount.
Of the loan amount? Okay. So we've got 200,000. Okay.
Be 10,000
times 5% is $10,000. Okay. So if I put some money down, if I put 10,000 down as a prepayment, then I'll owe 190,000. Correct.
Mm-hmm.
And then I owe a penalty on that. Correct.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I got, I'm doing it the long way. I got 190,000, and now they want 5% on that, times 5% equals $9,500. Okay, if I put $10,000 on this loan, and I never know if a prepayment penalty is going to help me or hurt me. I never know. Okay, but if I put $10,000 on this loan, okay, so here is my wait a second here. I got the okay. So I got a 17% loan, okay, at 360 months. Here's my payment. Look how much money is going to principal here.
Mm.
Okay.
That's
Now
a whole
here's what
cheeseburger
people
meal from McDonald's.
here's what people don't know. If I pay this, okay, if I pay this, that's my first payment. If I put an extra $18.27 on it, I don't have to pay that.
Mm.
If I put 10,000, if I put an extra $233.86 on this loan, I knock off a year worth of payments, and look how much interest I just saved.
Crazy.
Okay?
That's a lot.
If I listen, if I prepay $5,000, look what it just did for me.
Boy.
And you're going to charge me 5% on the unpaid balance? I don't care. You see, prepayment penalties only work if you don't know the other side of the opportunity cost equation. Opportunity cost means if I use the money this way, I can't also use it that way. What is it going to cost me? If I'm only looking at the $9,500 cost, but I'm not looking at the $300,000 benefit.
Keep the penalty.
Keep the penalty. I'll pay the penalty all day.
Hey man, we looking at money a different way this morning.
Hey, man. Wait a minute! Don't shout out to
You
keep
gotta
the
realize,
penalty.
most people hear penalty like
lose something.
Whoa.
Wait a minute, we may be gaining with the penalty.
Don hit a penalty. He runs to the penalty. Most people like
Listen, because if they get a penalty, they're going to give you some other stuff because they think you're going to stay in the loan longer because you want to avoid the penalty, but they don't know that you know the math. So yeah, I'll take a penalty. Yeah. So they said, well, if you want this deal, you got to take a penalty. Okay, I'll take the penalty.
That's cool. I already did the math for the penalty. Good.
Okay. Listen, man. Listen, we don't know. Give me an 18% loan. If that's what I got to get the deal done, because I can keep my costs low. Because this is how the whole thing is set up. This is why they don't teach you how an amortization schedule actually works. When you take a look at how much is going to principal, you control the principal payment, you control the loan. And interest payments you skip don't matter. Okay? So listen, I got a deal that I learned from you guys from the old show. Let me put this up. Here's one. Here's that same $200,000 loan at 18%. This is on a multifamily. Okay? Because this is all I got into it to fix it up. $200,000 to fix up this multifamily, right? And my here's how much income I'm bringing in from the multifamily. Do I need to make it bigger?
Yeah, a little bit bigger.
There we go. This is how much income I've got from the multifamily.
Okay.
This is how much interest I'm paying. All right, at 18. This is my mortgage payment at 18%. So if I'm making this, do I care about this? Okay. Now, how much money do I have left over? I've got almost $3,000, almost $3,000 left over. I'm going to take this money and put it right back into doing something else with that. All right. That's $2,500. And then this money here, 8.1%. This is what I'm going to put away for in my reserve account for whatever. This is my reserve. Okay. Just based on this, not on this because I'm spending this. I got taxes. I got some other stuff. I'm start investing right away. All right. With this money here. Now look what happens. Here's how much interest they want on this loan. If I do it their way, they want $800,000 in interest.
Wow.
But if I prepay it, I'm only going to pay this. Okay. That's treating an 18% loan as if it were 6.47.
Wow.
That's the effective interest rate. Okay. I'm saving $631,000 if I want to, and I could pay it off in 10.8 years if I want to. But
so
guess
real
what?
Quick,
I don't want to.
You don't want to.
I don't want to pay it off. I want to treat it like this. Okay. I got I'm attacking this loan. I'm attacking this loan with this money. Not any of this other money. I'm attacking it with this money.
So wait a minute. Wait. So you taking $485 to get rid of $300 and some $1,000 in interest?
Yep. Because I'm putting it away, and when it hits a certain point, because I can only draw down this money so far, my reserves. Okay. I'm only taking reserves out. Yeah, I'm only taking reserves out every 3 to 5 months and chunking it down, but I got to build it back up and then I can use it again. I can build it back up and use it again. I don't constantly use that reserve money. I got to keep something in reserve. So when it hits a certain point, then I can use some of that reserve and chunk it down and do this with it. Now watch this. Here is the regular amortization schedule. This is what the bank wants me to do. This is how much principal I pay. This is how much equity I have after 1 year. I've only paid this thing down by about $200 after a year. Okay. This is what they want. Okay. This is how much money they want. They want all this money. All right. But now I start out, and then the next year I owe $192,000, then $198,000. Okay. In 5 years. Okay. 5 years. I got $50,000 in equity, and it didn't cost me anywhere near the amount of interest that they want to charge me. $198,000 versus $150,000. You see how fast I'm building equity. And guess what? When I get enough equity, what am I going to do? Sit on it?
You're going to leverage it.
Hell no.
I'm going to leverage it.
You're going to get that HELOC.
I'm going to get that HELOC. I'm going to get that line of credit. I'm going to leverage this money and use it again, and it's going to take me 5 or 6 or 7 years. Now we're not even talking about the fact that the property is appreciation. We're not even talking about depreciation yet. Okay, the property is going to appreciate. All right, and I'm getting equity faster and cheaper because I know what these little bitty principal payments can do for me.
Damn. Hey, bro. If y'all learning something, why don't y'all hit the like button? Put some flavor in the chat for Don, man.
Sometimes we say penalty, please. Prepayment penalty, please. Listen, if you haven't already, make sure you check out the sponsor of the show. Matter of fact, Don is actually the sponsor of the show. He teaching y'all, giving y'all game, plus he's sponsors. So make sure you go and 10K.com and get your free savings and earnings report. Go ahead and do that right now. Bless yourself with that decision right
10K.com. So basically, listen, you can do that. You can show them this on their own debt that they got.
Listen, they get anybody Yeah, they can get a free savings and earnings report. They can get one of these. They can get one of these for free. I'll do it for free. You will know the month, day, and year you'll be debt free. You'll know how much interest you are supposed to pay. You will know how much interest you will end up paying. And then you're going to know what your effective interest rate is. I'm going to tell you that you're saving you're buying your money at 71% off. Okay. And you will save this. Now, here's the best part. This is the part I've never even told you. I've never even told you this. And whether you're on Clubhouse or YouTube or wherever you are, and somebody's offering you something like this, have you ever heard that they will guarantee your results or your money back for life?
Amen.
You will do this or you don't pay. I will guarantee your results if you follow the program, because it's just math. Follow the program. Do what it says exactly as it says, and you could be out of debt in 10.8 on this loan, saving that money, and then take that money that you didn't pay in interest and turn it into another $800,000, and that's at 1% return on your money. And I think you guys are getting better than 1% cash on cash return, right?
Yeah.
Dang all right. Listen, let's hear what ET got to say about that real quick. ET real quick.
Listen to me, y'all. But one of his mentees took us through one of their programs, and I paid off my mortgage. But guess what happened? My marriage went to a whole nother level. And you know why? Because my wife is a security freak. And even when I blew up, my wife would be like, oh, you blew up, but how long is you gonna keep making this kind of money? I was like, I don't know, forever. She's like, you sure? Because I'm gonna keep my license as a nurse just in case you don't. So when I paid the house off, my boy was like, you ain't gotta do that, you can do this. But when I paid the house off using that program, it took the stress level all the way down for my wife because we no longer had a mortgage. Does that make sense? That thing that was coming every month, that was getting on her nerves, we didn't have that no more. And so she was at rest.
Listen, they got 52 people here, minus Don. I think y'all all should get a savings and earnings report. It's crazy. Why wouldn't you do it if it's free? Why wouldn't you want to better your life? Why wouldn't you want to pay less interest on the things you already have, man? Make sure y'all hit ice10k.com, man.
Because
use the resources. That's what we were talking about at the beginning of the show. Use the resources that you have available to make your life better.
Facts.
People are locked into that idea. People are locked into the idea that I have to have more money to manage my debt better. That's not true. You just need to pay less interest. We show you how to give the bank back their money in your own timing, which makes it impossible for them to charge you interest using your current budget. You don't need more money. You just need to pay less interest. And that's what we teach. So you use the word leverage. You look at the word leverage. What does it really mean? Does it really mean using the least amount of something to get the most profit?
Facts.
Okay. Well, now you can borrow your money at 75% off. You just increase your profit.
By a lot.
By a bunch. And now, not even talking about the fact that now when you take a look at the money you didn't pay, now do a projection on putting that money to work over the next 15, 20 years at compounded interest. Lord, those are the millions of dollars you're leaving on the table because you can't invest those extra monies you're paying on interest that you didn't have to pay. But when you look at investing that money instead of giving it to the bank, you get the asset, okay? You get it at 75% off on the interest. You take the money that you didn't pay and invest that. Those are the kind of calculations we need to be doing.
You're making more money when you understand the money.
And
Most of
we
us don't
haven't been
understand the
taught.
money.
No, we understand it from one part. We understand it very well. We know how to make money, okay? But we don't know how to borrow money at a discount. And we need to, especially real estate investors. And if you're going to invest and use somebody else's money, this works. This works on seller financing
Personal
too,
house,
right?
so work for personal houses, owner financing, cars, credit cards, student loans. It's all the same, just numbers.
Yep, just numbers. And you got to know how they work. But if you don't know how the bank does what they do, Byron, I saw you talking about bracing. Okay, I'm gonna build a house without bracing it. What my corner is gonna look like?
Ain't gonna be no corners no more. Them thing gonna be wobbly.
That's
gonna
what
be
we're
done.
doing, folks. We are teaching something they're not teaching in business school. And you need to understand the cost of the money so that when you're leveraging it, when you see a show like what you guys are doing, getting people bank ready, all right? O'Neill, you take people that know nothing about money, nothing about business, nothing about real estate, and you're giving them a roadmap to the bank, how to walk out with money with an LLC that ain't even 2 years old. Okay? You're taking them to the money. And now once you take them to the money, now we're going to show them how to think like a bank. And think about it. Banks borrow the money. They leverage the money, meaning they're going to make a lot of money with your money and then pay you pennies on the dollar for the use of it. We're getting ready to flip that script. You can flip
So somebody
that
asked a
script.
question. How does this work on adjustable mortgages?
Boy, oh boy. I love
It's the same thing. It's the same thing because it's adjustable every 5 years, 3 years, or something like that. So you just keep changing it.
Listen, it could adjust up or it could adjust down. Okay? Let's just say you got the worst scenario and it adjusts up. Okay? And let's do a regular mortgage. I'm gonna put a $420,000 at $420,000 at 7%. Okay. And then that's what it is now. If I get an adjustable rate, shoot, I can probably get it at 5. All right. So we got adjustable rate mortgage. There we go. All right. So now if I attack this loan aggressively, with the money that you have available, okay, what if when at the time it's supposed to adjust maybe in about 5 years, depending on what it is, this could be a 5 or 7 years, but you could own by attacking this loan, let's just say you have an extra $60,000 in equity. Okay. All right. So in 5 years, I'm not here. In 5 years, I'm not here. 185. Okay. I'm at 125. I'm saying 325, not 385. I owe 325. Let's say I owe that. Now my interest rate adjusts up, but it's based on what? 325.
25.
My rate can adjust up and I can still have a lower payment.
And you can just use the same strategy you was using before.
Because I'm attacking the loan. So when they give me an adjusted rate and adjust up, I don't care. Because my payment is going to be less.
Your payment going to be less regardless because you didn't attack so much of that principle that it don't even matter no more.
Exactly.
Jesus.
And if you use the same strategy you had before, you pay it off even faster.
Exactly. So so here's the thing. If I can tell you can be out of debt, let's say you can be out of debt in 8 years. Okay. 5 years in, you only have 3 years left. Adjust my rate all day long if you want to. If I'm supposed to be out of debt in 8 and you adjust my interest rate in 5 years, I really only have 3 years left on this loan. I don't
And they
care.
really probably sped up the process.
Just my rate up.
Tell me this, Don. I know that paying more towards your debt early is the most advantageous, because at the beginning of the loan, because hell, that's when it's the most expensive. Is that correct, or what's your
Front-loaded.
assessment on that?
It is the most expensive, but it's the cheapest. You're at your cheapest principal payments to control that. You got the most expensive interest payments and the cheapest principal payments in the beginning. Okay, because you control the loan. Let's put that back on the screen. You control the loan with these payments, with your principal payments. This is where you control the loan with, because this is the amount that you borrowed. This is your mortgage payment. This is rent on your money. This is not mortgage payment. You didn't borrow this money. Okay, so you control it with this. If I have, do you know how many people I talk to that have thousands of dollars sitting in a bank making 1/10 of 1% interest? They can take a little bit of that money out, apply it to this loan. And if I take $6,000 out of my bank and apply it to this loan, saves me about $20,000 in interest. How long would the money have to stay in my bank to make $20,000?
My Jesus. When you think about it like that, it's scary.
Yeah. So I like looking at that money. I like looking at it, but what's it doing for me?
This just the reason why this information is so violating to the soul is because it's so counterculture. Like we're really taught to put the money. Most people would think that putting the money in the bank instead of towards that mortgage is the most responsible thing to do.
Well, you got to think about it, Byron. Who taught that lesson?
The banks.
Banks taught the
people who own the bank.
People who own the bank.
They use your money to make more money.
You know what else is crazy that I learned from Dunn that blew my mind is that you putting down a big down payment is beneficial to you.
No, you don't want to put a big down payment.
You be better off taking that down payment money and putting it towards that mortgage and saving yourself on interest costs.
A lot of interest.
Jesus. Can you kind of break down the down payment myth? Because
most people think they need to put a huge down payment.
Facts.
Listen,
smaller loan.
We just added something new that will really blow your mind. Are you ready?
Let's talk about it.
Okay. So let's just say I have $100,000 I can put as a down payment on this loan. So I don't have $420,000. Okay. I have $320,000. So I'm going to change this to 320. All right. We got that. I'm going to keep the same 5% interest rate, even though we can't get that. All right. So now here's my payment is $1,717 versus $2,254. Okay. If I put that down payment down. So if I look at this is how it's sold. Okay. Because if you do that, ladies and gentlemen, here's the total interest that the bank wants over 30 years, but I ain't gonna keep it 30 years. Let's take a look if I put $100,000 down. If I put $100,000 down, then it drops to $298,000. $298,000 versus $391,000. But if I have the $420,000 loan, I still have my $100,000. I put $100,000 on principal, and this adds up my principal instantly for me. Let's go down to $100,000.
Jeez, well, that's a lot of payments.
Okay, look at this. All right, that knocks off 145 payments and saves me
$226,000 in interest. But it is nuts.
Right, and I still have my $320,000 loan. Okay. Now here's the killer part. Here's the killer part. If I have $100,000, okay, our program now incorporates what's called an IUL, an Index Universal Life. If you have that $100,000 and you put it in your index universal life policy, your cash, you can jumpstart that thing, and you're earning interest somewhere between 7 and 12% on your money. All right. And you can take out the next week, you can take 90,000 of that out. But you're borrowing the insurance company's money. Your money stays in there, making that 10 to 12%. You're borrowing, you're leveraging that to borrow somebody else's money. And you could take 90,000 and put it on your mortgage while your 100,000 is still working. We just added that portion. We just added that.
So wait a minute. You got 100,000 in the life insurance. You're
Right.
paying. You're borrowing that 100,000 at over time.
You're borrowing 90. You're borrowing 90.
You're borrowing 90,000 over time, though. You're not gonna borrow it at the same. You do borrow it at one time or over time.
You can borrow it. You can borrow it the next week. 90,000 right out.
Right out.
Right out.
And you're gonna put it towards this here mortgage.
Yep. You can put 90,000 toward the mortgage. Right here.
$200,000 in interest.
Yep.
Saved.
I'm looking at it right now on the screen. I just want to make sure you're gonna knock out $200,000 worth of interest while you gaining interest on your money in the universal life.
Yep. And you never have to pay the
double
back.
win.
And you never have to pay the loan back. You can, but you don't have to.
And you're still making money on your same 100,000.
Exactly. And it's not sitting in the bank.
Your 100,000 going up in value while your house is going down in interest.
What would that effective interest rate be when you put that 100,000 in there and you knock off all the payment?
Listen, man. That's a little bit more calculation. But here's what I can show you. Here's what I can show you. All right. We put $100,000 on this, right? And when you want to figure out your ROI, here's your ROI. And if you go on Google, it says, how do you figure ROI? What is your benefit? Here's my benefit. Okay. I take my benefit, $226,000, just going to round it off. 226,000. What did I do to get it? I put $100,000 on to get it. So I divide it by 100,000. Okay. And then when I get the answer, I multiply that by 100. $226% return on my money. 226% return on my money.
So let's backtrack on this real quick.
Yes,
the bank told you that they want you to save your money. They also told you that you want to put the biggest down payment. Listen to this now. Let me tell you why the bank wants you to put a big down payment. This is my nefarious genie moment. They want you to put the biggest down payment you possibly can so you can be absolutely broke. So you do not do what Dunn is instructing you to do, which is eliminate close to $200,000, maybe $100,000 in interest on that loan. They want you to put it in the front, right? So they can, because that's the least effective way to spend your money. So you got to reverse engineer and look at this thing like backwards. Everything that they telling you to do is a lie. Everything.
It's for their benefit.
It's all for their benefit. They want you to save the money and then come up with a massive down payment so you can beat yourself on your chest and say, man, I put 20% down. I put 30% down on my house.
And you sound crazy as a mug.
Because you could have took that same 20, 30, 40%, kept that in your pocket and told them, look, Mr. Bank, I really only want to put 3% down, 5% down, whatever that number is. That's all I want to put down. That's all I can afford. Yep. Yeah, your payment may be a little higher, but you turn around and you turn around and put that money after the fact, and you didn't just
Can I
eliminated hundreds of thousands of dollars. And then if you put it in a URL, what he was talking about, now you can gain interest on the money and lost interest on the mortgage.
Yes.
That's the
You
win.
know, the reason, here's the thing, Byron. When you got your mortgage, people, did you actually see the money? Did they actually put money in your hand? Was there money that you actually saw? Or did they
Nope.
write into somebody else's account? I borrowed money.
It's not even real money.
It's not even real money.
Numbers in a computer.
Here's what's happening. For every dollar the bank has, they can lend out 9 or 10. That's called fractional reserve lending. So they loan money they actually didn't have. All right. And then you put down 100,000 real dollars that you made with your blood, sweat, and tears. You put that as
Now
a
they
down
got it.
payment. Now they got it, and now they're going to loan that out at 10 to 1. Okay? You give them $100,000, they now have $1 million to lend.
Appreciate you.
Thank you very much.
You just made us more money.
So, and then you start out at, and then you, on a $300,000 loan, you start out at payment number 1. Okay? Paying this kind of interest on that money. That's payment number 1. Or you could take your money and put it as a prepayment on this loan of if you could put $100,000 down, you start out at payment 145 right there. If you don't do anything else. There's so much going on with this. It takes a lot for us to wrap our minds around it because nobody else is teaching this anywhere. Not even the people who work in the bank don't learn this because the people who own the bank don't teach the people who work at the bank.
Well, why would they? This is against
No,
benefits.
It don't make sense. This is their bread and butter.
It does. Exactly. So they teach them how to sell products that the bank makes money on.
Well, because at the end of the day, they really want you to pay for your house 3 times. A lot of times people be thinking they building equity, but if they ain't really like tapping in on what you're talking about, done, they really renting.
They're double paying for the house.
Because at the end of the day, if you pay for the house 3 times over,
you a sucker.
Well, it's even beyond that. If you turn around and sell it at, let's say at 50%, I mean, let's say if your appreciation goes up, I don't know, 10%, 15%. Did it really go up 10, 15, 20%?
You really caught an L with all the money you
pay. If you pay a full 30-year mortgage, did it really go up? Because at the end of the day, what's your net profit?
Right.
The real number, the real net.
What's your net profit?
Real net. So what we want to do when you start talking about leveraging, and you got my interest when you start talking about leveraging today, Byron, when we start talking about leveraging, you want to be able to say, I want to borrow some money and I want to pay the least amount of interest for that money. That's it. That's what banks do. They borrow our money. And do you have a savings account? Did they send you your statement? Did you see how many pennies they gave you for your money? And they call it banking. Banking is not there to be a service for you. Banking is in business to do only one thing, to take your money and make money with it. And listen, I don't fault them for that. I don't fault them for that. I want to take a page out of their book. Teach me something. Teach me something. Teach me how to borrow money, leverage it, make a whole lot of money with that money, and teach me how to pay pennies on the dollar for the use of that money. I love the bank. I'm not hating on the bank. I'm just saying we need to be educated on it. We spend way too much time educating people on how to get the money. We spend 0 time teaching people how to manage it effectively.
So how many folk gonna be in the chat walking around talking about they put down a 30% down payment on their new house, 40% down payment on their new house, and beating themselves on the chest as a result of that after listening to this? If you're gonna be putting 40% down payments and 10, 20% down payments and beating Who gonna do that after this here show? I just want to know.
You should be doing that on nothing. Cars, houses, nothing.
I'm just saying.
Wow. Listen, what we're talking about here, gentlemen, you guys are doing a bang up job putting this information out there for people, how they can stop sitting on their assets and put them to work. You guys are expert on that. Adding this component to that, adding this metric. I mean, this metric is so powerful. But what would you compare it to? You would compare it to trying to go into real estate investing without knowing how to buy the property right.
Mm.
A lot of people do that though.
Pay retail. I'm going to pay retail for a property, and now I'm an investor.
And then pay retail for the money.
Mm.
And then pay retail for the money.
Over retail, even at your 3, 4, 5%, because the 3, 4, 5%, 7% interest rate ain't a 7% interest rate when it's all said and done.
Nope.
I like a 17, 18.
Probably more than
Listen, it's way more than that. 3% is actually 50% loan.
Wow.
Damn.
Yeah, 3% is 50%. 4% is 71%.
Wow.
5% is 93%. 6% is
Yeah.
115%, and 7% is 139% loan.
My Jesus. So that means you paying for that house by almost 3 times.
There you go. And we don't have to do that. We don't have to do that because now the people like you, we're putting the information out. Now, what are people going to do about it? Are they going to get they're going to start doing the math and say, well, I've got this loan. What can I do now? Can I reclaim the time? Yes, you can. You can save enough interest. I need everybody to listen to this. You can save enough interest from this day forward. If you calculate the interest saved and invest that money instead, you will make more money in interest than you've ever paid in life. You can get all of your money back. All of it and more.
Wow.
Just think about it. Compound interest working for you is a monster.
Mm.
It is crazy how much money you can make with compound interest. I mean, even if you just put it in a mutual fund, we're not even talking about putting it into real estate yet. But if you take that money and put it into a real estate, take that money and say, listen, let's calculate how much money I can make with that money. And then calculate how much money you paid in interest over the years, you will get it all back and then some. I do a course on that called 0% mortgages.
Mm. Darby, man, what you think about this conversation we having this morning, man?
Hey, can y'all hear me okay?
Come on.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Hey, man, listen, Don always dropping some magic, man. he always dropping some magic, and he never seems to amaze me every time. I feel like I always got what he said, but every time he come back on, he dropping some more, and he's like, damn, okay, I'm still doing it wrong. You know what I mean? Because that's how you look at your rental portfolio, your car payment. Like now he got you to where you're looking at everything on a computer to where you just like, dang, looking at Excel sheets. Okay, dang, I'm paying this crazy amount. But here's the thing though, Don, and correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
I don't think what people are calculating when they're getting that quote unquote low interest rate as a 3.5% interest rate, whether it's on a car or a house, that they're paying that interest rate annually. Right. So they're like, oh, I got a $500,000 loan on 3.5% interest. And they think they won, but, and correct me if I'm wrong, they're paying 3.5 on that 500,000 annually for the next 30 years if they got a 30-year loan, right?
Well, here's the thing. You're thinking of it. You're almost there. You're almost there. Here's what they're doing.
The loan restarts
every month.
Every payment, I believe.
Every month it's a brand new mortgage. This is not one mortgage.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is 360 separate mortgages. They're taking the 5%. They're taking the 5%. Here's what they're doing. They got 420,000 here. They're taking the 5%, 0.05. They're dividing it by 12, and then taking this number and multiplying it by your 420,000 times 420,000, which equals 1,750. That is your very first interest payment. And then they do it again the next month. So yeah, 420,000 was your first mortgage.
So you pay around 1,750 or whatever that interest rate is every month. So
yeah.
So that's damn. Okay.
It's
So you really got 360 mortgages.
There you go. That's what's happening. Not one, 360.
And so how you win is knocking some of the mortgages out by prepaying them.
Listen.
Yep.
Correct.
Don, do this now. How to pay your mortgage off for dummies. This is what it is. We've all been tricked, dog, because this is crazy. Because I've been telling people about you for a while. I just told this young lady who's about to close our house either tomorrow or next Friday. And I was told, I said, listen, go to is10k.com because great job, you got a house. But they didn't tell you how to pay off that house
properly
sooner. Yeah, properly. So I was like, you might be paying probably like triple for your house what you might be paying now. So I just said, just do it ASAP, please, because they befuddled you. They befuddled you. You're not knowing what you're about to get into. So and then when I explain it to people, I want to be able to explain it in the most simplest form to where their mind is blown, just like our mind is blown every time you're on. Like, yo, you're paying $2,000 a month in interest every month for the next 30 years or what may have you, and you're really not paying $300,000. You're really paying about like $900,000 for this $300,000 house.
Yeah, that's at 5%. At 5%, remember what I told you? 5% really means 93%. Here it is. 93.256%. That's what they're getting at. And every month you're creating equity. And for you real estate investors who and you go to your RIAs or whatever, and they're talking about you're not paying the mortgage, your tenant is paying the mortgage. That's a lie. You're paying the mortgage. Your tenant is giving you money, and you're taking that money and you're paying the mortgage with it. So, and after 1 year, your tenant has given you $27,000. In 1 year, your tenant gave you $27,000. And what do you have to show for it? $6,196.51 in equity.
Wow.
When you could have taken some of that money, prepaid it, and saved that.
Wow. Don,
so that's what's
more platforms, dog. But this
is what's going on. So you're paying $1,700 to get $504.65 worth of equity. That's what you're doing. But you can, the exact same amount of money, here's the thing, the exact same amount of money they're charging you, you could save that. So if I wait till next month to give them this $506, they're going to hit me again. If I give it to them early, I don't have to pay that. I get this for free. I get this $506.75 for free. I don't have to pay them for it because I chose when to pay it. There you go.
Oh, Jesus. Just, at the end of the day, it's like a lot of the things that we've been taught, right? I'm not going to say that they're wrong per se, but I would say that a lot of them are backwards in terms of who it benefits, right? And so you always have to ask yourself, okay, the things that I'm learning, who does this benefit, right? So you putting down a massive down payment, who does that benefit? You keeping a lot of money in your savings account instead of putting that towards that mortgage, who does that benefit, right? All of these things you have to ask yourself, why would the bank set themselves up to benefit anybody other than them? And so I think ultimately when you look at a show like this, that's what you have to, pencil in on. What's your thoughts on that, O?
I agree, man. You got to realize why these banks worth so much money, because they taking all of our money. and they're lending all of our money back to us, and they're giving us nothing when we put our money in. So you always gotta ask yourself, like what Byron said, who does this truly benefit? And you also gotta reach out to the people that actually knows the information on this stuff. Don't think you got it all figured out. Reach out to Don. Go to ice10k.com. He got this figured out. Why try to figure this out yourself when somebody else got the information already? That's when we was talking about earlier. You got to use the resources that's around you. Us as black people don't use the resources that's around. We try to figure it out on our own. Or we go back to our mom and daddy, and they're not in the position we want to be in. We got to keep it real, most of us. So why gain information from people that's not where you want to be?
Somebody said,
or never accomplish the goal you're trying to accomplish.
Billy said he received an escrow check. What should I do with it? It's a great question.
That is a great question. That's a great question. You got an escrow check. Here's the thing, because you overpaid your escrow. All right. There's a couple of things you could do with it, but the main thing is people want an answer right now. What should I do with this? Like, it was simple. The real answer for anybody who is in this business of helping people with money, the real answer when you first ask that question is, I don't know. That's the real answer. We have to do the math based on what your financial goals are. Once you do the math based on your financial goals, then you'll know what to do with the money. Okay? If you have no goals, listen, I spend every dime I make. Okay? Then you know what to do. Go out and spend it. Okay? If your goal is I'm saving up for a vacation. If my goal is I'm saving up for my kids' education. If my goal is I want to make sure I can retire on time and not outlive my money. It all depends on what your goals are. And then you get with an expert and you can figure out, what should I do with this money? So my real answer is, I don't know. Let's get with somebody who can help you to accomplish your goals with that money and let it be a rung in your ladder of success. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Love it. I love it, man. Look, y'all want more information on this? Make sure y'all go get y'all free savings and earnings report, ice10k.com. Don got way more information. But if you do your free report, you get to figure out how you can get out of debt in the next 8 to 10 years, right, Don?
Yep, on average, or how you can cash out your equity 10 to 15 years sooner and invest the money. Either way.
So everybody here needs to go to ice10k.com. You know, we promoting wealth right here.
Let me ask you this real quick.
ice10k.com, man. Go ahead and click the link.
Say somebody got approved for a mortgage, right? Hey, congrats, you got approved for $350,000. And this is for people who don't have a house buying experience. But they said you got to put $5,000 down, $10,000 down, or $20,000. How can you say no to that, even if you already got approved?
You can't. You see what they're doing is, if I have a conventional loan, I'm required to put 10% down, but I'm going to flex and put 20 or 30. Only put what's required.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And I have resources, Do you know there are banks out there that will not require you to put anything down? You just have to do the research.
You got to ask the right questions. You got to ask the right questions to the right people. Because they got conventional loans that would put 3% down too.
And they have programs that will let you put nothing down and have no PMI. They have programs out there for first-time home buyers. This is a fact.
And they don't always advertise them. The bank that does that always has that in place. But they only advertise it at certain times during the year. But if you know the bank that has it, you can always get that. I got a guy who does research on these banks and knows all of the stuff that they do to help home buyers. And his thing is how to get a home with no down payment.
That's my
Can
type
teach
of
you how to
thing.
do it.
Yes, indeed.
That's the move right there. Because I don't think a lot of people know. Because like I'm trying to help out quite a few people. Oh, I gotta save up some money first. You know, I tell them you really don't when it comes to investing. But if you want to try to buy your own personal, you try to go through a conventional bank or a traditional bank, you may or may not. But after learning what you're teaching, I'm trying to figure out how to teach them to navigate around the down payment part. So they just not
Well,
going to
see,
the right banks.
well, yeah. The thing is that when you're talking about that, most people that I've run into over the years would like a smaller payment. They may not need a smaller payment. Some people need it.
Right.
So but making a down payment so that you can get that payment where it needs to be, that's one thing, because you don't want to pay 35-40% of your take-home pay on a mortgage. You just don't. Okay. So what do you have to do to get it in line? Do what you have to do to get it in line, and then take the rest of that money and then leverage it. That's what we're saying. So if you can afford the payment, I don't put anything down. If I can afford the payment, I put little down. If I can afford the payment, I don't buy down the interest rate. I never do that. If I can afford the payment, there's a lot of things you could do. People are offering incentives now. If you go to a builder, they're offering incentives right now. They're saying, we'll buy your interest rate down. I said, no, give me that money, put it towards my closing costs. That means I have that $12,000 extra that I was going to put on closing costs. I can now prepay my principal and knock off 2 years off my mortgage with that 12 grand.
That makes sense.
Okay. Please don't buy down my rate. Put that money towards my closing costs.
Yeah,
there you go.
You know, that buy down a rate too. What I'm realizing about that is it's trickery from what I'm realizing, Don, and maybe you could break that down even further, because a lot of times them buying down that rate is really just getting rid of your money. It's just getting rid of your money. You better off keeping that money yourself and doing what Don said, putting it towards the closing costs or something like that, unless you are concerned about a payment. But a lot of times it don't even affect the payment enough to even justify it, right? And if and let's not discount this too for everybody that's listening. First of all, we need to re-understand the starter home effect, right? We need to go back to the starter home mentality, because I think what's happened is we think we need the biggest or the best house going into it. Well, we don't realize getting that starter home sets us up to be able to do the play that Don talking about and do it cheaper, do it more effectively, because now we can pay off that mortgage in 7 years. Now, when we get ready to move up to that next house, we could do it with equity, right? And still come out of pocket nothing.
Yep.
Just a thought.
Listen, Brad. They could actually do it like you was talking about. But I don't want to use. After a while, I don't want to use my money at all to purchase anything. Okay, you can leverage that money like we were talking about before and put it in a permanent life insurance policy. Borrow the life insurance company's money to do what you need to do while your money still works. Byron, your money is working. Okay, and so you could use your money, but if I bring an investor in, I don't have to take my money out of my investment. It's still working. I can bring somebody else's money in, and then when the deal is done, I just pay them back and I keep the change. Okay? That's what you're doing while your money is continuing to work. Listen, we can help everybody do this, whether they're a teacher, a police officer, a firefighter, whether whatever profession you're doing. If you have a W-2 job, you can take these principles and become a millionaire and never have a business.
Facts.
I love it, man. We definitely got some more money shows, man. Seems like everybody loving the money conversation, so we definitely got some money shows. But make sure you'll go to ice10k.com, click the link, get y'all free, FREE, that free savings report. We know y'all love free. Go check that out.
Yep.
And man, we had a good show, man. You can become a member. They got 3 different levels: visionary, legacy, trailblazer. hit that subscribe button. You got to hit the like button because I know y'all gained some new information. I know y'all gained some new value to change your life, change your family life, change somebody's life. But you got to apply the principles that was taught today. If y'all want more money conversations, man, put in the comments, hit the like button, subscribe button. We see y'all on Tuesday, man. Y'all have a great weekend. Go make some money. Have a good second quarter of y'all business, y'all life, hit y'all goals, and be intentional about your time, man. With that being said, we out. Peace.
What's up, y'all? So most people struggle with sales. A lot of us in real estate, and we struggle with our sales. We struggle with follow, we struggle with leads, and we just basically missing out on deals. For me, I just got on Taskify CRM. They send messages out for you. And look, a lot of us have work. When you get off of work, you have hot leads ready for you. Make sure you check out Taskify CRM. I'm telling you, it automatically replies for you. And look, it sends you multiple messages. Like we talking about drip campaigns, so you're not missing out on the lead follow-up. So make sure you check out Taskify CRM. Use coupon code NOStingyEnergy to get 10% off. I'm about to show y'all inside my CRM so I can see how it really works. Make sure y'all check it out. Peace.